We're going to talk about a team that I've been shitting on my entire existence, but for the main majority of the past, like, I don't know, 8-ish months, and it's the New York Knicks. Now, I've been saying all along that this team overachieved last year. This team is pretenders. This team's not good enough. And we're on sort of that kind of trend. We saw them take on two of the top teams in the Eastern Conference over the past week, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. They got absolutely blown out in Cleveland, and then against Boston, they got shellacked, had a fake-ass comeback, and then got shellacked again in the fourth quarter. So this now makes the Knicks 0-7 this year versus the Thunder, the Cavs, and the Celtics. And all 7 of those games have ended in double-digit losses. Most of them have been blowouts. So just like I've been saying, I mean, I could say my piece after. I think it's only right that we let the Knicks fan go first. Yep. So, Antoine, the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh my God.
Do not hold anything back.
I didn't even watch these games because I knew it was going to be blowout, and boy, was I right.
You didn't watch this game?
I had the Boston game on in the background, and I shut it off. Oh, my God. So, like Tyler said, 0-7, 0-3 against Boston, 0-2 against Cleveland and OKC.
Wow.
The total points, Cleveland has scored 252 in 2 games. That's an average of 126. Boston has scored 381 total. That's an average of about almost 130. OKC has scored 243 in the 2 games. That's an average of, again, almost 120. So we're out looking at 120 averages all across the board, regardless. In the season series with Boston, this is a good stat. Out of 144 total minutes played, the Knicks did not lead for a minute. Instead, they only led for 50 seconds.
It's a long time, to be fair.
Against Boston, Mikal Bridges is shooting a little below 44% from the field. Nothing really concerning. The major concern is our highest paid player. That's OG Anunoby. In 24 career games against the Boston Celtics, he has yet to score 15 points in a game.
$46 million a year.
15. He hits 15 on a regular basis consistently.
Wait, he's your highest paid player?
OG's the highest
Isn't
paid
he?
player.
He's making more money than Cat this year.
Seriously?
I'm going
to look right now.
Fact check that.
No way
He's
he's making more than Cat.
All right. Again, more stats. You want the good stat first?
Yeah, Cat's making 49.
So he's
OG
Cat's
making 50.
OG's making 36 this year.
Oh, maybe.
But that's the AAV, so it's different. Yeah.
You want to hear the good stat first?
Yeah.
The Knicks are pretty good in steals, almost 8 a game. That's
Okay.
16th in the league. Middle of the pack. That's pretty good.
No, it's pretty mid.
The Knicks are 20th in defensive rating, behind Charlotte. Charlotte is 15th.
Wow.
Knicks have 114.3. Charlotte is 113.7.
Wow.
Oh, wait. Don't we love how Cat gets all these rebounds? He's getting like double-doubles like crazy.
Yeah.
Knicks are 25th in defensive rebounds.
Wow.
32.2. 25th.
I'm really enjoying this.
It's actually really bad.
Oh, wait. It gets worse. Don't we love our blocks? You know what the Knicks rank in blocks?
28th.
Dead last.
Okay.
I tried to be generous.
All right, so we get it.
They
The
are
Knicks
tied with
defense sucks.
Miami. Tied with Miami for bottom barrel with 3.8 blocks a game.
That's pretty bad.
That is a defense that is non-existent, and the biggest problem is OG Anunoby.
Really?
That is the biggest.
Why is he the biggest issue?
He is the sole defense right now on this team.
He's the only defender, you're saying?
100%. Mikhail's defense has not been the same. Cat is not playing no defense. And neither. Josh Hart, I'll give him, but he's been kind of injured recently.
Yeah.
Not the Tibbs problem. More
Brunson doesn't really play, but
No, he
OG,
doesn't.
we needed OG.
Brunson does draw a lot of charges,
No,
though.
of course. But OG was the defensive guy from Toronto last year, showed up
Right.
really big for us.
Right.
Played. Tibbs ran him into the ground.
He's doing that again this year.
Again. And the bench is McBride, Campaign, Precious Achua,
They can't play
Landry
defense.
Shamet.
They suck at defense.
Mitch comes back, but Mitch is still a walking injury waiting to happen.
He's also just not that good.
I mean, he's definitely going to get you defensive rebounds.
Okay.
He'll get you
He'll help
some.
with that.
If they come up against Cleveland and Boston in the playoffs,
Oh, forget it.
I'm not watching any of those games
Okay, come on.
unless they're in MSG.
Like I said 5 minutes ago, if the season ended today, you got a first round series against Detroit.
Ooh.
And whether you win or lose that series, they are going to give you hell
Dang,
for at least
bro.
4 to 7 games.
Listen, I loved what they did this year with OG resigning was the first thing that got done. I love that. We were here for that when that happened. This was still when Randall was there. Hardenstein was the big question mark. We wanted those guys back. Iheart left. Sad. We're stuck with Mitchell Robinson, who would have been the center without Cat now?
Can you tell me what's going on with OG? Because he's supposed to be that big time defender, and he's like your two-way player. What's going on with him? Tell me.
OG right now, there's a lot. The ball handling right now is Cat and Brunson. Those are the guys that want to score. OG's not getting the shots. Mikal's taking the shots and missing them by like an inch or two, and they're coming out every single time. Hart is not shooting. We know that.
Right.
OG, I think it's a thing from last year with his injury. Again, with this year, maybe he's not fully healthy.
Okay.
Mikal looks nothing like he looked like in Brooklyn.
Right.
But he is playing.
He somehow looks worse than he did in Brooklyn.
I don't think Mikal likes the fit. I don't think they're utilizing him. He's not getting utilized correctly. Dante would have been the perfect shooting guard next to Brunson, like it was last year. Mikal was not needed. Because you kept Dante, if you kept Dante, and you got Cat, I would have been so much more happy. I don't think. Plus, we keep our picks. But I guess you had to throw in Dante. You didn't really have to throw in Dante. You could have thrown in someone else. Hart.
Right.
But Hart was needed to keep Hart.
The Wolves needed some low, cheap contract.
I
would have
loved.
They could have went for like give McBride.
They couldn't because he just signed.
No, they could have gave like Achua.
No.
Signed him. You got rid of him.
Look, here's the problem, and this is where I'll insert myself to try and give some insight from a non-Knicks fan, because obviously you're a Knicks fan, you're a little bit biased.
Of course.
I'm obviously biased too because I hate that franchise with every ounce in my soul, but when I'm on this show, I try and be as unbiased and objective as possible. You're absolutely right in the sense that Cat can't defend. Cat's like a lost cause defensively, no matter what you do. The problem is Tom Thibodeau's playing a drop coverage, and they can't rebound.
Interesting.
For
the viewers that don't understand what that is, can you tell us really quick?
Drop coverage it's self-explanatory. You're basically just sagging back and just hanging by the hoop. The Nets drove me crazy last year with the drop coverage because we were all so happy about Nick Claxton grabbing 17 boards a game. We were getting killed on the three-point line. And that's exactly, the Knicks can't guard the perimeter to save their life. And they have supposedly the best defense in the NBA, like from the point of attack, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago on different teams, you could say that. But it's terrible because you're playing drop coverage against the Boston Celtics. Yes, the Boston Celtics that shoot 53-point shots a game. Drop coverage. What is Tom Thibodeau doing? Like genuinely, I have no idea. It's killing the Knicks defense. And even when they do go man-to-man or zone or switch everything, it doesn't really change much. But the drop coverage is just adding an insult to injury. You're just putting salt and lemon juice in the wound. Yeah. So it's basically it's driving me nuts because like the ceiling of this team can be high. It can be, but like they don't have the assets to do this. And
I mean, I don't even think it's the assets though, Tyler. I think maybe it's Tibbs. Because what kind of like isn't he supposed to be known as this defensive coach?
He is.
Isn't that his?
Remember, they dubbed Jacques Vaughn as a defensive-minded coach. So
yeah,
that needs to be taken either lightly or heavily depending on what situation you're in.
But based on his history, though,
on his history, yes. But Leon Rose gave him an awful roster to do this with. Yeah. Because look, I don't hate re-signing OG Anunoby. Was he overpaid? Sure. But you kind of needed to do that because you traded away RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly for him. You had to re-sign him. Cat was I think a fine move for what it is. The problem is what you did a month prior to that by trading 6 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. I said it from the start. He was never going to return to Phoenix form, and he hasn't even returned to a Brooklyn form. He had one good game this season, one singular good game when he dropped 40 points on Christmas Day. Aside from that, he's been fairly average or he's been absolute god-awful. And that's been that essentially monkey wrenched the Knicks because you don't do the McHale trade. You trade for Cat. It probably costs you an extra pick, but then you have assets now. You can go get a Kevin Durant. You could go get a Brandon, and you can get anyone you want. But now the Knicks have screwed themselves over massively here because no one wants that Washington pick. You can't trade away. You don't have a tradable first-round pick until 2033, and that pick won't be tradable until next year. So the Knicks are in a big hole.